Welcome to the Infinite Potential of Being Human podcast. I have one of my most loved friends on today. We were just saying that it's the first time that we've actually done an interview with a very, very good friend.
I know. I'm so excited because of that. It's like such a new experience for me.
I know. I'm like, do we just drop in like we always drop in, or do we try and do this professionally? And then I was like, no, let's just drop in.
Let's just see what happens.
So we have Kaitlyn on here today, and you are not only an absolute oracle when it comes to everything cosmic, karmic, astrological, numerology. What are the destiny cards? Are they called destiny cards?
Destiny cards, astrology, human design, the Maya.
That's it. But you do it all and all in one go. And I've never met anybody that is as accurate and immediate. Like it's literally like you have a photographic memory and you just everything is in there.
Yeah.
You actually do have a photographic memory.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, when I was a kid, when I was in like second grade, they tested me because there's like standardized tests in America. I don't know if they have them in elementary school in England.
No.
I know you were in Hong Kong.
I was in Hong Kong.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. And I had to do these tests, and they like came to my parents like, oh my God, her test scores were insane, especially with reading comprehension. And they wanted to skip me a couple grades, and they like did all these tests on me, and they're like, we think she has a photographic memory. And it's weird because I do when it comes to like anything that's pattern or math or like looking at a chart, but when it comes to like reading a book, I don't always remember. So it's weird because people are like, your photographic memory, right? I'm like, yes and no.
For your mastery.
Yeah,
This
for my
is
mastery.
absolutely your mastery. But I do want to begin by just saying how we met. Because I
Oh
didn't
my
meet
God,
you
yeah.
because I was getting a chart read, or you didn't meet me because you wanted to come and do some maturation.
Yeah.
We were introduced to each other by Nick, my love, your good friend, and we were both in New Zealand.
Yeah.
We were both, you had moved to New Zealand in a relationship, and I was in New Zealand with my kids and my ex-husband, and Nick said, you guys need to meet, and we jumped on Zoom together.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And it was like, I came off that Zoom call and I was like, you're my new best friend.
Yeah. And I was in such a dark place too. I just like didn't even know what to think. And we got on the call, and I remember just like, I hadn't had anyone I could speak to when I was there. I felt super isolated, really alone. And we get on a call, and I'm just like, there's a lot going on in my life right now. I don't know what's happening in my relationship. And you were just so good at holding space and like hearing your story. And I was like, oh my God, is she like a sign of here's a path I could go down? Is that the path that's truest to me? And I remember you saying to me, like, when I left that call, you had told me like there was a time in your life where you weren't telling yourself the truth. And you're like, I started telling myself the truth. And I was like,
Yes.
Whoa. And I went on a hike after our call, and I was like, am I telling myself the truth right now? And I was not.
Because you were in a relationship with a Kiwi,
Yeah.
And you'd moved there with him, and you were not telling yourself the truth. And really, you were like a fish out of water. Like, you know, you're like this oracle cosmic being in the middle of the wilderness countryside in New Zealand, and I was like, girl, you are not in the right place.
Yeah, I really wasn't. I mean, the nature was so breathtaking, but I was just in the harshest like home environment I could be in, especially after coming off the back of being so sick. Like, I remember before I went to New Zealand, I had had serious health issues. I had surgery. I had months of being down and hooked up to IV antibiotics and steroids. And I remember thinking like, my body can't do this. I'm not up to going to New Zealand. And my ex had kind of been like, he couldn't be in the States because of his visa. And he was like, if you don't come here, like, I don't know how we can make the relationship work.
Right.
And I kind of went against what I knew was the right thing to do. And I got on the plane and I went. I was not prepared. I tell everyone that my 3 months in New Zealand was like a 3-month ayahuasca journey.
Yes.
Yeah. I could have done it in one day like a normal person, but I was like, let me just stretch the pain out for 3 months.
Well, you could have also done it in, 10 years, like some
good
people
point.
do.
Yeah.
So you got out quick.
Yeah.
But what I thought, now with hindsight, when I look back on it, it was actually a really pivotal threshold moment for both of us
Yeah.
when we met each other. And from that meeting, it triggered you starting to really go through this big transformation. And it's also really interesting because I think about a couple weeks before meeting you was the first time that I finally learnt my birth time. I'm 46.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
And so I'd never been able to use astrology or anything really of that nature accurately because I'd never had my birthday. My mum couldn't remember when I was born.
Wow.
And I had just got it, I think about a week before meeting you.
Yeah. No, I wasn't even planning on doing we weren't talking about doing a reading or anything.
We weren't talking about any of that.
But then you were telling me I was like, can you just give me your birth info? I just want to look. And then all of a sudden I'm blowing you up with all these voice notes like, oh my God, and this, and that, and this.
Yes.
And then I had Nick's chart. So then I started looking at your guys' chart. I'm like, oh my God, this is so aligned.
Yes. I mean, I think for me, what I didn't know at the time was I was just about to go through probably one of the hardest and most difficult phases I've had in a long time. I mean, you also were about to go through a really big
we had no
phase.
idea.
So we came off that call, and now with hindsight, I can look back, and it was like the beginning of everything just going.
Yeah.
But also like a death, destruction, and a rebirth at the same time.
Yeah.
But what I love and what I find so masterful is your ability to pull information from these very deep cosmic, karmic levels of our path, our contracts, or would you say they're contracts?
For sure. Yeah.
Yes. Are they karmic contracts?
Yeah, I think we have a soul's correction that we're doing in this lifetime. Like we came here for a reason, and there are contracts between people and just ourselves and situations we're meant to go through for our soul's evolution.
Yes, and because with the intention that we evolve to the highest, highest frequency and to the highest ascension and alignment, right? Which is, of course, for the benefit of all consciousness. Right. So, I mean, that's really how, you see, we can go from sending gifts about the most stupid thing to suddenly talking about the deepest karmic, cosmic portal death.
I'm like having flashbacks of some of our conversations on our group thread with Nick. I'm like, those are not appropriate for this podcast, but yes. But that's the thing. It's I'm always telling people yes, these topics can be heavy and they could be challenging, but if we can't laugh through it, then what are we doing? There has to be some lightness in the dark, you know?
I think laughter is actually one of the highest forms of freedom. When we can really, without laughing at it, it's like laughing with the whole journey. It's without dismissing it, we can have some laughter about it because it is tough. I mean, this year, man, Kaitlyn, please just help us. What is going on? This year has been brutal.
I mean, when I first met you, I told you that this year, specifically for you and Nick, was going to be seriously, and me and my ex, was going to be really transformational. There's so much going on in the collective, but for you specifically, and myself, the nodes are in Pisces and Virgo right now, and the nodes are our destiny point and also our karma, our past lives. It's what we're releasing. So the collective is coming into this more Piscean way of doing things, while the north node's in Pisces. But they're touching your natal north nodes. And again, natal is what you're born with. Your north node's in Virgo. So it's never going to change. So you're having this nodal opposition, which is so transformational. And it hasn't happened in years and years and years and years. I mean, I went back and told you the last time it happened.
Remind me again, what is it, 23 years or something like that?
It should be around 18.6 years. But I remember I found an exact date. And then it's interesting because Nick went through his exact nodal opposition. Remember I was telling you about this. This was when you were in New Zealand.
Yes.
And then I had a call with him.
Yes.
Yeah. And so then yours peaks in November. Just track back a bit.
You did my chart.
Yeah.
After we first met. And basically everything you told me, everything you told me was 100% accurate.
Yeah.
So firstly, I was already living in some kind of alignment without knowing my astrological chart, because everything you told me was already tracking.
Yeah.
But what was so interesting is that I was already starting to question really big pieces. Nick and I were wondering whether we should have a child or not. Yeah. Because we're so in love, and that was kind of the pull, and shouldn't we make a child together? But we didn't really want to at our age. I was really starting to question, what is my path here? Like, what am I really in the highest level of leadership, in my expression? Like, all these questions were already starting to come into just my own internal dialogue.
Yeah.
And then when I shared them with you, you were like, yeah, this is what's coming. It's like, yeah. And then it started.
Yeah. And what I find so interesting about the tools too is that, like, as much as you can predict with accuracy what's coming and what is going to transpire and what's going to happen, it still always plays out in ways that you're surprised by. Yes. You know, like, I knew that you were about to go through this huge transformation in your career, and that there was a different part of your purpose that was about to get unlocked. But the way in which that came up,
which was wild, and I don't mind talking about it.
And okay, yeah,
said that we can talk about it.
Yeah,
is that I think like a month and a half later, I find out that I'm pregnant, and when Nick and I were in Peru in my first Tree of Light ceremony, I was shown that I was pregnant with our daughter. Yeah. But when I found out I was pregnant, it was the time of when his nodal piece was activating.
Nodal opposition, yeah. Exactly. He was really going through it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so he was on the other side
Anna
of the world.
was a shock too. Like, just for anyone listening, they weren't planning this.
We weren't planning it. Yeah. It was like a miracle baby.
Yeah.
I was nearly 46 at the time. I'm 46 now.
Yeah.
So I was getting ready for menopause, not for having babies.
But your health is so, like, you guys are in such great shape, especially after working with Vince. It's like everything is like,
yes,
10 years younger at least.
But what was so profound is that the way that it all happened, you just can't. It still blows your mind.
Yeah.
Like, I found out I was pregnant. He was on the other side of the world. What that activated was so much for me around what I thought I had already dealt with, around abandonment and trust, and can I really be supported, and am I safe? And then what triggered for him was, can he trust, and is he strong enough to provide? But we couldn't reach each other because he was literally on the other side of the planet to me.
Yeah. Well, and he had that photo shoot too.
He was in the middle of the massive photo shoot.
Yeah, he was like actually unavailable. But I do remember, like, one of the first things we talked about too was that you had Pluto transiting your 5th house, and it was about to leave your 5th house. And I gave you a time frame, and I said, like, I don't know if you're thinking about it, but, like, this is kind of one of these moments where you're going to really be like, do I want another child or not?
Yes.
And you came to that point.
It was literally exactly at that point.
Yeah.
And so when I started losing the baby, that activated everything that then now I can see with a few months out the other side. It activated what was unblocked, that needed to be unblocked, that was tied in with what a new kind of expression that was coming through. Like, going through that kind of grief and letting something physically leave my body and moving stagnant energy from memories that were in my nervous system and my cellular structure. What was interesting was I came out that other side, and I had landed to where you predicted, which was that I was able to make a very clear decision. I'm done. I don't want to have a baby.
Yeah.
But up until that moment, I was in that should I, shouldn't I, which is exactly what you told me I would be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, you then also started going through a massive death portal.
Yeah. It's been a blur.
And your nodes were also...
So I'm not in my nodal opposition. I'm having my nodal return, which is wild, which is like when my purpose kind of comes online a little bit more.
Yes.
So, and like you told me that too when we first met, like I was really in the throes of I came back from New Zealand, and my ex and I were still together, and I was kind of waiting to see what his visa situation was going to be. So I wasn't making moves. And then we broke up, and suddenly I'm like, oh my God, wait, what? Like, because all my decisions the last like year had been made with him. I hadn't even considered, where do I want to go? Where do I want to live? And all of a sudden it's like, okay, I got to figure this out. And then also like this huge shift coming with my career. And it was just like really being in the portal, and you were such like a rock for me. And you just kept telling me like, I feel such good things on the other end of this, on the other side of this. Honestly, like spending time with you and Nick, especially in Austin, was like so healing for me. But also like your relationship is so expansive for me, and just seeing that and like your guys' love story and like what you went through with your own love life, and being like, oh my God, like it's possible for me to not settle and to have everything that I want in a partner. But I have to, like, as you say, listen to yourself and tell yourself the truth.
And then take the risk to let destruction happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like you have to actually be willing to destroy a world that was not based on the truth.
Yeah. And that's really scary too. Because like I said, like I didn't even realize, like, obviously, like, you know, I didn't realize that I was kind of waiting for the relationship to make choices, instead of just being like, this is my truth, this is how I feel, I'm going to start making actions towards that. And it felt really scary to like be in that moment and be like, wow, I'm just like, I'm fully on my own here. Because him and I were so integrated in our lives. We'd been through so much.
Yes. And you found yourself in a really not knowing place. Where do I live? Where am I going?
What am I doing with my career now?
And where are you now?
Well, I'm living in LA.
I mean in yourself.
Oh.
On 23rd Street.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, guys, come visit. Yeah, honestly, like, I mean, I don't know if you notice a difference between like Austin and now. I'm like, oh my God, this is honestly like the happiest I've been in years. And I
definitely noticed.
I was doing a meditation this morning. It was just like a morning meditation. And I was thinking like, oh my God, like my life is so abundant and overflowing in so many, like I was like pinching myself. I was like, the people in my life are like the people I like prayed for, like the support and the love I feel, and like the confidence that I've gained, and just the certainty. And there's so many factors to that, but I feel so grateful, because I really was just in the death portal in the most intensive ways, when I was like so sick, felt so out of control, couldn't work, was just lying around drugged basically. And then to go from that to New Zealand, where, you know, I'm a very like social, outgoing person. I've never felt so alone in my life. Like I didn't really have support there.
You were really isolated out there.
Intensely.
And you were fully reliant on him and his family. Like you didn't have your own independence or sovereignty. Yeah,
it definitely didn't feel like that. I mean, I remember like at first I was really scared to drive on the other side of the road. And then I had to get over that. It's actually not that hard for anyone who's thinking. It's really not. You can do it. But that gave me more independence. But yeah, it was really challenging. And like my health issues were flaring so bad in New Zealand. And I think that was my body trying to tell me, like,
pay attention.
Yeah. But I think we were supposed to have a call. And then I had this insane allergic reaction on my face.
I don't
know and I sent you photos, and I'm like, I can't talk right now. Literally. Oh my God, my face blew up. That was crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think as I'm listening to both of us tell our personal experiences, it really makes me kind of want to come to the listeners of how this year, maybe it's not just this year, but there is like, what if we weren't afraid to die? What if we weren't afraid of death? And I know that sounds like a heavy thing to say, but what I mean by that is like Nick said something amazing to me the other day. He said, if you die, what was it? If you die many times in one lifetime, you'll never die.
Yeah.
And what he means by that is if we allow ourselves to die many times within the life that we have, then we don't need to be afraid of death. And most people don't live fully or authentically because they're afraid of death. And you and I have just come out the other side, and God, I pray that there's not another one coming, but and I'm sure you're about to tell me, but we came out the other side, and even though I know it intellectually, on a deep, deep embodied level, it really is like coming out into a new reality, into a new possibility. And so there is such gifts in surrendering deeply to that complete like demolition. And that seems to be a big theme this year, no? Isn't that like this year is like a year 9,
it
right?
literally is. 2025 is a universal year 9, which is the number of death in Pythagorean numerology. It's also endings and closure and deep transformation. It's also in the Chinese calendar, it's the snake, which is all about shedding layers. You know, like pain cleanses the vessel. That is the purpose of pain. There's so much medicine in pain. And that is really how oftentimes people get to their next level. Is there has to be, once you reach a certain level of consciousness, there has to be something that clears out kind of the debris in the lower levels. And we don't even realize we're carrying it. Just like you said, you didn't realize that you were like, oh my God, I'm back to this again.
Yes. When I was physically losing the baby, I realized now what Tree of Light showed me. The Tree of Light showed me carrying the consciousness of this soul to activate what needed to happen in my transformation. Because as I was miscarrying the baby, it was unlocking what had been frozen from memories of awful things that happened when I was 15. And I literally relived them. I experienced them like they were now. But then when I came out the other side, I swear I felt like I had shed a skin.
Yes. And you even feel lighter. That's the crazy thing. Like on the recent full moon, I was leading an event with my friend Maston, and he invited a lot of his friends, and I invited a couple of friends, but it was at his house, so it was mostly his friends. And we all went around a circle, and we were talking about what we were letting go of, and I actually did not know what I was going to say because I was holding space for everyone else, and I was helping people locate where's the moon in my chart and all these things. And then it comes to me, and in my mind I was like, I'm going to say I'm done playing small in my career, because it was in my career house, which is like, yes, but also a little, not going that deep. All of a sudden I opened my mouth and I was just like pouring out my heart and my soul about this like business partnership breakup that I didn't realize was really holding me back. And just, I went through a really bad breakup with a former business partner. And when it happened, I remember being like, I'm just not going to deal with this. Like, it's over, it's done, move forward, shove it down. And I really didn't. And actually, like, my Kiwi ex really helped me through that. He was like the light during that time when I just was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And honestly, people don't talk about like work and business partnership breakups enough. There's not a lot of language around it.
So painful.
Yeah. And when you're building something with someone, that's your purpose. That's your dream.
It's an intimate relationship.
Yes. And so when that blows up, it's like, it's beyond devastating in a way that romantic relationship breakups haven't always been, for me at least. And yeah, there was a lot to unpack there, but I was like ugly crying, like I couldn't, sobbing. People were like this, like leaning forward, really listening, like, whoa, like the whole room got real quiet. And the next day I literally felt 10 pounds lighter. It was insane. Like physically, my body felt like I had released literal weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like the death portal of this year is quite literally, it's like changing the cellular frequency that we are emitting. Mm-hmm. Like if we can release, like you said, like the debris, the sediment that sits at the bottom of the pond. Yeah. It's like that kind of energy that's stuck in our body. And it has to happen on a body level, mm-hmm. because that's what we're resonating, and mm-hmm. that gives us our frequency. So if we're carrying, suppressed emotions, suppressed pain, suppressed memories, like if we don't release them, it doesn't matter how much insight and awareness we know, that's what we're still going to be vibrating. Mm-hmm. So it has to be quite literally like a channel of release.
Yeah.
That moves through.
And usually that channel is pain.
And usually that channel is pain or grief.
Yeah, exactly.
It's...
And mourning your old self too. I've done a lot of that this year, where I remember I was driving the other day on the freeway and I just burst into tears. I'm like, why am I crying? Like, what's going on? And I was like, kind of like searching myself and asking God. And it was very clear. It was like, you're literally mourning like the old self, and not just like the old self of like who you are, but also like the dreams that were attached to that. Like, that's been one of the hardest things for me with the letting go, especially when it came to my ex, because the dream we had for our future was like exactly what I wanted. And just being like, that might not be the future for this new version of myself anymore. And like grieving this like incredible life I had dreamed for us, you know?
Yes. You see, I'm secretly smiling because I know that something even more amazing is coming around the corner.
I'm ready.
Did I ever tell you that my teacher said to me when I decided to end my marriage before I met Nick?
Yeah.
And there was only 6 weeks in between. But I didn't know he was coming.
Yeah.
He said to me, you should prepare yourself to be on your own for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Because it may not be that you meet someone that can match you.
Yes.
And so when I came out of the marriage, I was like you, like grieving the possibility of everything I thought I wanted. Yeah. And you have to, like, you kind of have to just have a blank slate, like an empty page, and be there. And you don't know what's coming, but now I knew what came, and it was better than I could ever have imagined.
I wonder if him saying that actually allowed you to completely detach and release any sort of like attachment or like yearning. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people come out of relationships and they're like, okay, cool. Where's
the next one?
Yeah, where's my next one? And
where's my king coming?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe because he said that, you were like, you know what? You're right. And so you became like so open instead of just like holding on, hoping.
That's true. I was actually very peaceful with that decision.
Yeah.
I was like, I can be okay. Because he said, you'll probably have lovers in every port. And I was like, that sounds like not a bad thing.
My mind is going places I can't say right now.
I was like, it's not a bad way to live my life.
It's taking me back to a conversation we had in Austin.
I'm just wondering whether we should go there. Probably not.
Probably not.
Okay, let's bring it back to this year. Or even, you see, before I met you, I used to think that astrology was what people would use in a way to almost avoid being responsible for living their life.
And some people do that. I do want to make that clear. Like, some people do use astrology in a distorted way.
Without having to be responsible for the actual 3D reality.
Yes, where they're like, oh, I'm a Gemini. Sorry, I told a white lie. That's just who I am.
Yes.
Which is absolute bullshit. And honestly, like, full transparency, I had so much resistance to talking about numerology and astrology online because I don't want to be looped in with that at all. I do not want to be looped in with that kind of distortion. Like, astrology, numerology, all of these mystical tools, they're here as tools to serve us and empower us, to make us ask better questions, to make us reflective. It is not an end all be all. And actually, I love the Kabbalistic view on this. In Kabbalah, they say that, your astrology is like your blueprint, but by the end of your lifetime, you should not be able to even recognize yourself in your chart because you have transcended so much of that.
Wow.
Yes, you should have that level of growth. And of course, it's like, I'm a Virgo sun, right? So I can look at my chart and like, I've definitely dealt with perfectionism and control, but I'm also like really detail oriented and love to be of service. And I think cleanliness is close to godliness, quite frankly, and it's like, I can look at that and I can take the positive traits and be like, yes, this is something I excel in. And like, let me really go for it. And I can also look at the shadow side of, again, control and perfectionism and say, that's something I need to work on. And it's not something I want to claim in this lifetime.
Yes.
But eventually get to a point where I'm not even that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not resonating with it. Yeah.
I think that's why I was really glad to not have my birth time. I kind of just didn't really want to engage with astrology. When Nick and I met, I can't even tell you how many people said to us, "Have you read your charts?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, we haven't read our." You were the first one that actually did a proper reading.
And you didn't even ask. I was getting so excited about your chart. And of course I have Nick's chart. I've had it since 2019. And then I went through it and I was like, oh my God, it's so compatible. It's so good. And I got excited.
But everything you told us, we had already discovered ourselves, which was so, well, maybe not everything, but it was literally like, yeah, we know. Yeah, we know. Because
but it's just confirmation.
Exactly.
And that's what it should be. It should, most of the time when I get on calls with people and I tell them things, it shouldn't come as a surprise. You know, like,
if you're really listening to life
Yeah.
and in a deep relationship with life itself, then it shouldn't come as a surprise because your intuition should already be in line.
But it's nice to have that confirmation too. And like, I was going through your guys' past lives and things like that. And again, it's what I love too is you can also look at the charts and you can see like, where are we maybe going to get a little stuck? Where is there friction? And of course, there should be some friction in every relationship. Otherwise, like,
yes,
there needs to be growth. There needs to be polarity. But
tell us where our friction is.
You guys do have Mercury square Mercury.
What does that mean?
But I think, so Mercury is the planet of communication and mental thought processes. And you guys have a square, which just means tension, challenges, right? So when you have Mercury square Mercury in synastry, which actually my ex and I had when we met, crazy. I was like, whoa. It just means like the way that you process information is very different from your partner. And there could be tension in there. You know, a lot of the times in astrology, people are like, oh, squares are bad. It's not bad. It's an opportunity for growth. And so the way you communicate with each other, it just needs finessing, right? But if you're in your shadow and you see Mercury square Mercury, it could be like a lot of fights, a lot of arguments. You just cannot see each other's point of view.
And the reason why it can't work.
Exactly. But here's the thing, and here's the caveat, right? Like, you and Nick have both done so much work on yourselves, both of you as individuals, even before you came into a relationship. And then when you came into a relationship, you were very conscious about it, very intentional about it. I mean, you guys were friends.
I mean, the way we met was the container of the way we met through the Tree of Light was no small thing. It's probably the highest level of discipline.
But even entering the relationship, because of course you guys had like a best friend connection. Of course there was attraction, but you guys were like you talked it through before you even kissed or anything. And this is what I'm saying, like that Mercury square Mercury, where, you know, people who maybe aren't doing their work it might really actually be challenging. But because you guys are coming from a conscious place and you're coming from a giving place, you're saying, how can I be the best partner for you and also for myself? And you're asking the right questions. That Mercury square Mercury actually becomes a strength because it's like you guys think very differently and you can be like a yin yang. You can bring an opposite point of view to one another, which helps you actually move through blocks as a couple.
I mean, I want to share what actually takes place so that people can hear how that might look and feel like. So I'm a talker, as you can probably guess. I find it very, very uncomfortable being with unspokenness. And not only is that just, I guess, part of the way that I communicate, but I grew up with a lot of lies and a lot of secrets. And so speaking the truth feels very safe, and it's just something that, I guess makes me feel safe. So as soon as I see something, I tend to want to communicate about it. And also the way that I love and the way that I connect with people is through communication, as probably not a surprise, right? It's my work, the language I use, the way that I speak to you, the way that you'll feel me that way. You know, Nick is different that way. Words are not his thing. In fact, he grew up in a very, very religious container where his parents only read him the Bible. They didn't even have words, their own words for him, or they would use words that didn't feel authentic for him. So words are not it not only are they not his natural way of communicating, but it also somehow from his story and history feels like words can be inauthentic and fake.
Yeah.
And so he expresses himself through not words. And so when I met him, wow, it was, and it still is, it's so healing for me to learn how to feel his love through unspoken words. He will express himself in ways that are different to how I would express myself.
Yeah.
And not only is it so healing for me to learn how to be conscious enough to see it and to receive it rather than complaining about it's not the way I want it, it also teaches me how to feel safe in different ways based on what my childhood was like.
Wow. This is so interesting you're saying this, because with my ex and I had this exact placement, Mercury square Mercury, I'm the same as you. Like, I love through words. Like, that is my love language. Number one, just give me words. Like, even like, I don't even need to hang out with people as all, if we're communicating in some way, that's love to me. And my ex was the same. He didn't care about words at all. He was like, I'm actions. And it took me a long time to like really like kind of receive that and receive it as love. And when I realized about myself, and I'm not saying this about you at all, but just the power of Mercury square Mercury, and maybe you do relate to it, was I realized that some of my like need for words of affirmation and communication as love is because I didn't receive that in a way that felt nourishing growing up.
Yes.
And so I was kind of outsourcing that to the men I dated.
Yes.
But what happened with my ex was I had to learn how to give that to myself.
Yes.
And the longer that the relationship went on, and I had to detach from needing words because, again, he was really trying, but it wasn't his natural way. And I started giving the words to myself and validating myself. And I suddenly was kind of like, oh, like that relationship made it so words of affirmation weren't actually my number one.
Yes.
It was mind blowing.
But then, and then you take it to, another level deeper. It's like, once you have that level of healing and growth, with us, I realized that my gift to him is to encourage him to grow beyond his own pattern.
Yeah.
And find words.
Exactly.
Like,
and he's teaching you a different way of loving.
He's teaching me a different way of being able to even not just recognize the silent love. It's so present. Like, I don't think I've ever felt more loved, but it's not only through words.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm teaching him how to find language and how to say what he wants and how to speak about how he feels.
Yeah.
And so it's like I can hear how the Mercury square is like an opportunity for our transformation.
Exactly. And what's interesting too is just like the perspective shift. Like with my ex, like it's funny because the person I dated before him, like the communication was 10 out of 10 for me. I was like, oh my God, this is how I love to be loved. But when I look back and I'm honest with myself, his actions weren't aligned like my recent ex, my Kiwi ex, where his actions did really show like how dedicated and how much he loved me. And it helped me to be like, wow, like I was holding on to this rigid view of how love has to come. And like, how many times have I maybe missed someone giving me love and I deflected it because it didn't come in the form that I was attached to.
Yes. We're so busy looking for what we're not getting on the way we want to get it.
Exactly.
We miss what's actually there.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that really has been transformational for me. Being able to really see and feel and receive what's actually there rather than what I'm like, it has to look for it this way. Yeah. It's really powerful. Life path numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Life path numbers.
Are they like karmic contracts?
No, but there are karmic debts and karmic numbers. We talked about that on your call, didn't we?
I can't remember now.
I'm pretty sure you have a karmic debt number. I think it's karmic debt 14, but in the numerological system, we have life path numbers, and life path is, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's our life path. It's the path we came to walk in this lifetime. It's kind of similar to like your sun sign in astrology. And then we also have the life destiny, which is how we go about achieving our life path. And the life destiny is based off your full birth name. And then we do have karmic debts, karmic lessons. I mean, numerology is really endless in the information that you can mine from it.
Wow. I didn't know you could have life destiny number.
Yeah. So like, well, I'm a tough example because I'm a life path 1, life destiny 1. So it's like, I'm the leader. And how do I achieve that? By leading. But it's actually really powerful when you have both those numbers. Those are the numbers that are going to change your life. Like I always tell people, like, it literally went from being broke and homeless to a best-selling Penguin Random House author with 3 numbers. And that's the life path, the life destiny, and your personal year cycle.
Wow.
So if you're like, numerology is not my thing, I'm not interested, just learn those numbers because they will change your life. Like I promise you. Numbers? I have your numbers somewhere. It's so funny because when we talked about, oh my God, how sweet. This is a karma clearing life for you.
No shit, Sherlock.
No, like, so in numerology, if you have a 10 in your chart, it's a karma clearing life. And it's actually quite rare to have a 10. You're a life path 2.
Yes.
And a destiny 8.
Wow.
That's so interesting. You know who else is life path 2? Is Tony Robbins and Eckhart Tolle.
Wow.
And who else?
Nick is also a life path 2.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense. I think I looked in your numerology so long ago.
So I'm life path 2 and destiny 8.
Yeah, so it's the intuitive partnership is vital to a life path 2. Like they do their best work in partnership. If you're a life path 2, like usually they're in very long-term relationships. I mean, you're such an example of that, you know, with Nick. And then also you were married and built something with your ex-husband as well. But what's interesting is like, okay, yes, you're life path 2. You're like, you know, the intuitive, the empath, but the way you go about achieving your destiny of being the 2. And by the way, the 2 tends to be like the power behind the throne. They're there to like support others, but that doesn't mean you're meant to be hidden. And that's why I like to use Tony Robbins as an example, because Tony's entire life is devoted to empowering others, helping others.
Yes.
And he's very much front and center, but like, yes. It's not about him. And no. Even when you share about your personal life online, it never feels like it's about you.
No. It's
really kind of like, it's for people. It's
yes.
to empower them, right? So I just want people to know that, because a lot of the rhetoric online around 2s is like, oh, you're like not meant to be seen as much, but that's not true. Like,
it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah,
thank you for that.
Your work is in lifting others up.
Yes.
And you do that through your incredible depth for again, empathy and understanding. Mm-hmm. Actually, 2s have the least amount of karma as a life path number.
Wow.
Yeah. So fun fact. But the way that you actually achieve your life path 2 is through the 8, which is fascinating. The 8 is the only number that has to do with the material realm. So the 8 is money and power. So actually, you're meant to be very wealthy in this lifetime, not necessarily for you, but so that you can support that vision and you can support others.
Yes.
And it's also the number of, again, power. So it's like big empowerment, big like power dynamics. So a lot of your work should be or will be or is about that. It's like the power within you, how are you empowering others? What are the power dynamics in your life? And also like healing anything that has to do with wealth and abundance.
Wow.
And that is a very, very different path than, let's say, if you're a life path 2 and your destiny number is a 5. 5 is freedom and the free spirit and the traveler. So then it would be like, okay, you're here to, you know, be the supporter and to be the empath and the peacekeeper, but you're going to do that through your relationship to freedom and travel and sensuality.
Yes.
Which that might be part of your work, but that's not how you actually go about achieving the fulfillment that comes with your life path 2, because your destiny is an 8.
Wow. I cannot even tell you how accurate that is.
Yeah.
I feel like this entire lifetime is dedicated to cleaning up my relationship, my karmic history and relationship with power.
Yeah.
And then to be able to not only teach a new paradigm of power, but to be an actual example of it.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'll use my whole life to do that work so that how I'm showing up as a leader will just emanate that. Like, yes. I just feel like I can feel that is the deepest lesson.
Yeah.
And it's I always say to my teacher, I feel like part of my path, even though I teach about consciousness, and you said Eckhart Tolle, like our work is so similar, my path is to go out into the 3D material world and have to deal with things like money and the 3D world, but to show how to be there and use it from a completely different way.
Yeah. And that really echoes your stellium in Taurus. But I also want to make the point that, life path 2s, it's really important as part of your path that you're in the right relationship. And most well-known life path 2s, like you look at Tony Robbins, he's like, I'm nothing without Sage. I think Barack Obama is also a 2. He's always like, I'm nothing without Michelle. So the right aligned partnership for you is going to take you so far in this life. And I love that, like, since you met Nick, you really come into your own in such a profound way. And I also love he's also a life path 2, because when you're around other people who have your same life path, there's this magic that happens. You're literally just on the same frequency. Like, you just get each other. You're never tired of them. Like, whenever I meet another life path 1, we're just like boom, 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 boom. Like, so chatty. And also, I know you're doing an event or a mastermind with Tony Robbins. Also a 2.
Yes.
So look at you attracting your 2 tribe. It's like so aligned, though.
You say about the 10. You said there's a 10.
Oh, yeah. You have this is a karmic clearing life for you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been told, no, not just
it could be your last life if you want.
I feel that.
Yeah. You're like, I'm tired. I think you'll come back for
When
Nick.
I've been in Iboga and other kind of big medicine ceremonies, I've been shown that the whole purpose of this life is to clean up all the crap that I did in my karmic past and to really live it like at a highest ascension. That maybe Nick and I will come back. Yeah, but maybe next time we'll come back and we'll just play golf or something.
I know, sometimes I think that. I'm like, why didn't I come back as like a well-kept dog or something? Or
like pandas. We'll just come back as pandas.
Yeah. You really fulfill the panda prophecy that way.
So as we come to the close,
it's over?
Not yet. It's never over, honey, with you and me. But let's talk to everybody listening. What do they need to hear right now in this year 9? We're only, God, is it only just halfway through? It feels like a big year.
Well, yeah, we have till December in the 9. I mean, the thing about the 9 is like, it just wants you to surrender and let go. And like, that sounds like I'm like really just glazing over it. Like, just surrender and let go. It's easy. Just whatever. It's the hardest thing I think humans can do because we have so many attachments. I mean, that's what like so much of spirituality is how to let go of attachments. But the more you can make friends with the void and trusting in the unknown and having absolute certainty that everything is happening for you and is from the creator, like I think the easier that you can move through things. And like a practice that I do really started doing this year is whenever I get into those low moments of like, oh my God, this isn't working out, or like this breakup or this, and oh my God, where am I going to live? And I don't, what's happening? You know, I'll literally start saying out loud, like, I have certainty that like this breakup was for the best for everyone. I have certainty that the pain I'm feeling is good and it's from God and it's here with purpose. I have certainty that I don't have a home right now for a reason and that the perfect, most aligned home is going to show up for me. Like, I just keep like a mantra. I have certainty of this. And I name every single like, you know, perceived negative emotion that I have. And just, I say, I have certainty that I know this is from God and for me.
Yes.
And I think that instantly shifts me because we have control of so very little. We really only have control of our own actions and perceptions. And even
and
then,
how we show up.
Yeah. And how we show up. And even then, like, we don't know what we don't know. Like, we could be operating from our pain body and really not realizing that we are because we're not at that level of consciousness yet.
Yes. I'm going to ask you a hard question.
Oh, Lord.
And I don't know whether you're going to...
be able to answer it?
I don't know. But I just feel a call to ask it. What we're talking about so far is predominantly individual journeys.
Yeah.
Obviously, where we are on the planet right now is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
There are some horrific things, not just there've always been horrific things happening on the planet, immense levels of suffering and war and just terrible, terrible things. But we're now at a time where we can see it, and we're being exposed to it, and therefore we're feeling it and being invited to be responsible, not just for our individual reality, but for the collective reality. So how and what can you speak to when it comes to surrender and let go and a year 9, based on the collective invitation? Like, what it feels sometimes when I look and see what's happening in the world, it's so painful to feel the level of hopelessness and helplessness. Like, I ask myself, how can little old me make a difference to what's happening on a bigger scale? So I guess I want to bring that into the conversation.
I think people underestimate how much how much positive energy and light they can bring to the planet. And I totally get, like, when I look out and I see like the global landscape, if I really let it get to me, I'll like just be in bed all day, just depressed. Like, how could so many atrocities be happening? But I know that for me, I just try and hold a positive feeling that like the darkness has to be purged in order for there to be more light. Like, we have to see what's going on in a totally different way. Like, we've never been so connected. Like, I mean, even 100 years ago, what's happening now is happening, we might not be so aware of it. And now it's like very much in our faces. And I think that's actually leading to this massive shift in global consciousness.
Yes.
And I think I'm seeing so many people wake up to like, wait a minute, this system doesn't work for me. It's not working for us.
Yes.
It's just not. So I think that is actually like, the more people are coming online and wanting to change that, the more it's actually going to change, because we can't ignore it anymore.
Yes. And that pain is the catalyst.
It is. And also this, I heard a story once that really helped my perception, because I feel that too. Sometimes I feel like hopeless and powerless. Like, how can I make a difference? Like, I'm just one person in a sea of billions. Like, how can I do anything, you know? And I do believe in like the ripple effect. Like, we impact people positively and it ripples out. But this Kabbalah teacher was telling me this story once where someone in his audience was asking about what was going on in Israel with at the time it was the captives. And the teacher basically said to him, like, you know, where are you holding yourself or people in your life captive? You know, and I guess he had said he had known there was some, like, he didn't treat his wife very well.
Yes.
And he's like, where are you holding your wife captive? He's like,
Yes.
Don't think about what's going on overseas and where you're not touching that. Think
As if
about
that's separate from you.
Exactly, because it's not. He's like, where in your life are you actually doing exactly what you're externalizing and looking at? Because it is all connected. And I think I try and think about that. Like, when I get really upset or really angry about something happening on a global level, I think, like, where am I doing that in my own life?
Yes.
And how can I shift that? And I think if everyone had that mindset, I really think, like, I mean, think about how much the world would change if we all thought about, like, where are we holding ourselves captive?
Yes.
Where are we holding other people's captive in our lives? Just as an example.
Yes. I mean, I'm going to say something that I never imagined that I would ever say on camera, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Yay.
My teacher said to me years ago, Nikki, what you need to realize about the human species is every single one of us has a Hitler in us.
Yeah.
And if we're not
true.
willing to be responsible for every single aspect of our own human nature, that what we see on a collective level is the mirror. It's actually a mirror to where we are coming from. In quantum science, the external reality is not objective. There is no world already out there separate from the observer.
Yeah.
And so if every human being on the planet disappeared tomorrow, there would be no external reality. The only reality is the one that appears based on where we're looking from. So what we see and the atrocities of what we see is a mirror to where we are. And so you're right. It's like when you look at what you're looking at, how can you look inside yourself going, how are you doing that in your own world? Are you at war with your husband in the kitchen over the dishwasher? Are you at war with your own mind? Right? Now, I know it could sound like spiritual bypassing, but I think with the way that you and I are talking about it, it's that it's an even higher level of self-responsibility.
Right. But imagine if every single person on the planet had that, if they were to look within, like you said, and then if that reverberated out to the people who are actually carrying out these actions that we're watching on a global level with like such horror, like if everyone thought that, wouldn't that then shift the planet to, like, again, like I don't want anyone ever feeling helpless or disempowered. And I think that this is a way to empower yourself. It's not spiritual bypassing. It's like what the best action you can do right now in this very moment is actually working on yourself
and shifting your own consciousness.
Exactly. And then when you do that, you're an example to others to do that. And then again, it just is, it's an effect that takes place. And I think, like, why not? You know, why not try?
But there's actual scientific proof to it. Nick and I met an amazing quantum scientist called Nassim Haramein. We met him in Ibiza, and Nick is actually now going to be doing his branding and photo shoot. And he's extraordinary. And he's just about to release a book on the quantum field and the unified field. And what he spoke about is that when we shift our internal consciousness, the field of our consciousness, and then we are responsible to ensure that as many people as possible can feel and experience that new frequency, it impacts the collective field, and the collective field is the most powerful energy in the universe.
Exactly, yeah.
And that, when he said that, I was like, we can make a difference. Yeah.
I truly believe it. But it has to always start at the individual level. That's the thing. Like, that's the biggest change starts with the individual, and then that grows and grows, and then it's a group that's in the same consciousness. If we all had the consciousness of peace and healing on the planet, it would be, again, it's law. Like it would force.
That would be the world that we have.
Yes, exactly. That would be what mirrors back to us. But right now what's being mirrored back to us is the pain that's coming up to leave.
And the distortion of power and the distortion of fear and all the survival. Exactly. I love you.
I love you too.
I just love having you as my BFF.
We get to hang out all weekend.
Whoever knew that Nick would be the third wheel.
Oh my God. It's so funny too. When Nick introduced me to you, I had no idea. I just was like, oh my God, you have a girlfriend in New Zealand? Yes, please.
I literally said to him the other night, I was like, can she stay in our hotel room? He was like, no. Oh, I love you so much. Everybody listening, honestly, I don't even know whether you do this anymore, but they should go to you for astrological advice and guidance. Listen to your teachings on Life Path. You're bringing out a new program on money coding.
Yes. Oh my God. I actually want to talk to you about that later.
Talk about it now on the camera.
oh, hello. Yeah. So I was sick, very sick for a week. And on the 7th day, I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I have the best idea ever. And it felt like such a download. I literally wrote 92 pages in a day. By the way, I had a cold. I was lying on the couch with my computer, and I was recording myself talking. I was like, Life Path 1. Okay, this is what Life Path 1 does. And I just focused intensely on how to come into full alignment with money using the codes, but also using nervous system and epigenetics and all of that, because I see a lot out there is there's a lot of woo manifestation money stuff, which I think doesn't work without the practical, okay, but what's your actual relationship to money growing up, and how safe do you feel in your nervous system to hold that?
What are you actually carrying in your system from your epigenetics around money and power?
Exactly. But then if we only know about that, the epigenetics, and we're doing all the nervous system work, but we don't actually know how we're designed to make money, then it's almost futile, because each of us is as like every numerological chart I look at is as unique as a thumbprint. I've never in my life, and at this point I've done thousands and thousands. I have numerology reports, so I've generated a lot here. I've never ever seen anyone with an identical numerology chart.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally, that's why my book is
It's
You Are
like a
Cosmic
thumbprint.
Code. Literally a thumbprint. And so you can do all of the practical money stuff, but you don't realize, like, you might be leaving a lot of money on the table, actually, because the way you're designed to earn and to impact others and to receive, as according to your cosmic code, is incredibly powerful knowledge. Like, you know, if you're an 8, like, your destiny of money and power is very different than a 2, which is the empath. Like, imagine if you're like, I'm just going to go be a travel guide or a banker, you know, that's like not in alignment with your life path too. And so I created this system. Really, I created it for myself first, because I'm like, I'm going to hack this.
And
like,
also for me.
Yeah. But, you know, then I was like, this is so valuable that I have to share it. And I wound up like I've taken 3 friends through it, where I sat them down. I was like, we're going to go through all 150 pages, and I'm going to break down your codes and also help you with the nervous system stuff. And every single one had this profound breakthrough. I was like, okay, I have to actually share this. And I also include our karmic lesson and karmic debt numbers, because the karmic lessons are actually how we block abundance, right? So there's a way to come into flow. And then there's also like ways that we can open up the channels and ways that we're blocking it. All of that's in our cosmic code. And then I have timing as according to the personal year cycles. Like, there's times to grow, there's times to like kind of be behind the scenes working, you know, there are launch seasons. And then I also help people understand like pricing and offers as according to their codes. So I honestly haven't felt this excited in so long. And I look, there's nothing like it on the market.
God. I want to do it.
Oh my God, I literally thought about bringing my laptop.
Will you bring it this weekend?
Yeah. No, I'm going to, because I want to take you through it, and I want to hear what you think and what you say.
Doing it.
I was going to launch it as a course, and then I was talking to Maston. He was like, maybe you should launch it as like a coaching thing.
Yes.
So that's kind of, I want to take people through it and really refine it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming.
Yeah.
So keep an eye.
I also made love codes, but that's like half finished right now. Because I was like, money codes, I can do love codes too. That's just like, it was all when I was sick.
Do you see? You're coming
Such a
out the
download.
other side,
I
and it's
know.
just like,
yeah,
it's coming. Everybody, you're going to get the details of Kaitlyn below. Keep an eye, because there's a lot coming.
A lot. Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. I love you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad we get to hang all weekend. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me.